Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which I can only describe as gold, gold and more gold. I posted it on Facebook today after I'd shared it on my blog, and it has received so much positive feedback that I thought I'd show you how I made it. I'm going to change my colour scheme and I'm going to do this one in silver. Let me just prop that up because of the shine. That's better. The paper that I've used there, the one with the pattern on it, that's Fabulously Foil Designer Acetate, and it's advertised in the catalogue as gold, and the reverse is silver coloured. So I'm going to do one in the silver colour today because it really does look like silver, and it also comes in 3 different designs as well. Where's a piece of paper here? Let me show you. Okay, so you see that one in the gold. That's what it looks like in silver. And another of the designs in gold are the spots, and in silver, very difficult trying to show you this. Okay, and the one I'm going to be using in gold is that, which is very much like our Eastern Promise suite. Okay, so that's the gold one, and then that's what it's like in silver, and it's this one that I'm going to be doing now for you. And where I've used very vanilla to complement the gold, on the silver one I'm going to be using Whisper White to complement the silver. Okay, so to start with the card pieces that I'm going to be using. Right, now let's do this the right way round, and I think I need to, yep, that way. Okay, so to start off with, you need a card base in Whisper White, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, which is 21 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. Then you'll need 2 pieces of the silver glimmer paper, and these should measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And then 2 pieces of the Whisper White, which should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then the acetate, I'm not going to try and say that again. If I've got the name wrong, it will be in the box below the video. And this piece should measure the same as this, which is 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. Okay, so it's be fitting on like that. Okay, so those 2 can go on the inside. And then you also need, for the main image, which is the one with the snowman on, I'm not going to change any of that, and I'm going to use the same sentiment as well. So for the snowman, you need a piece of right, 2 1/4 inch Whisper White, 2 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 5.7 by 7 centimetres. And then a piece of silver glimmer paper, which is 2 1/2 inches by 3 inches, which is 6.3 by 7.6 centimetres. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4, which is 7 by 8.2 centimetres. And then the next 3 are for the sentiment, and you need 1 piece of Whisper White, which is 2 inches by 3 inches, and that's 5 by 7.5 centimetres. These ones are just approximate sizes because these are going to be die cut. And then you need a piece of silver glimmer paper and also another piece of Whisper White, which should both measure 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 4.5 by 7 centimetres. Right, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these two pieces and these two, and I'm going to glue them together. I'm going to glue them onto my card, and then I'm going to put them underneath this self-healing mat that I work on, so it can be pressing down to get adhered. There's two ways that you can adhere this that work really well. One is to use Tombow, and the other one is to use glue dots. But on such a large piece like this, I prefer to use Tombow. But Tombow does take a bit of time to dry. So if I do these bits first, then I can work on the rest of it. When I come back to this, this is going to be fine. Okay. Right, my Tombow's about to run out on me. In fact, I think it has. So I've got a new one here ready. Must be that one. Okay. Right, I need to sit forward a little bit. Alright, so that's that. And put this onto the front of my card as well. And then these two. Got some glue on that. Never mind, I can do that later on. My adhesive eraser will do that for me, get rid of that. I haven't decorated the inside of my card because I couldn't really quite decide what I wanted to do. But I am thinking what I might do is just do a strip of the acetate. Just do like a strip across there, maybe use some of the year of cheer washi tape, top and bottom. I don't know yet. As the saying goes, the jury is out on that. So now that I've done that, without moving it, let's move that one out of the way a minute, pick that up easily. I'm just popping it underneath my mat. If you don't have a mat, then just put yours under books or something nice and heavy. Right, okay, so next I'm going to do my stamping and heat embossing. So I need the smallest piece on that one and the smallest piece on that one. I need my silver embossing powder, which I keep in big boxes like this because it's so much easier. They do take up quite a lot of room because I've now got 7 of these. But it is well worth it. If you've got the space, it is worth it. So the first thing, most important, is go over your paper with your Embossing Buddy. And the stamp set that I'm using is Mistletoe Friends. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I would have changed to one of these had it been the same size, but this one's quite a lot bigger and it would have made a difference to how I laid out my card, so I decided to go against that. As the saying goes, if it ain't fixed, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So these are the two stamp sets, my VersaMark So let's just do the sentiment first. And I don't really think it matters whether it's upside down or not. This is going to be die cut with one of the stitched shape framelits. So just see that that's about in the centre. And don't press too hard, otherwise you get the excess on the rubber stamping down as well, which I seem to do so frequently on this particular set. But no, that looks okay. Let's do this one, and this one I'm going to do it this way round because it's much bigger than the ink pad. Let's just put the lid on that one. Right, now this is quite a lot smaller than my actual stamp, so the actual rubber stamp does come off on all four sides. If you're not happy doing it that way, take yourself a bigger piece of cardstock, do your heat embossing, and then cut it down to size. That's how I did my one over there, but it's just not very practical when I'm trying to do a video. And it seems to work like this as well. So there we go. Let's move that one out of the way. Now I've got a pair of tweezers that I use for this stage of it, because these are far too small to actually hold. That's okay, except for that big lump that I've just seen at the bottom there where I've been holding it. There we go. And that one's all done, that's okay. Right, I have a brush here and I just get these little bits off. That one's fine. That one's going to be die cut anyway, so that's alright. Now I'm going to just make a bit of noise while I heat emboss these. I'll give it a few seconds to heat up to make it go quicker. Wait a minute. As soon as the powder goes shiny, that's it, it's done. Move on to the next bit. It doesn't do anything good by keeping your heat onto it. Different people say that different things happen if you stay on there too long, but I've never stayed too long to find out exactly what does happen. Right. That's not going to be die cut, but these three are. So I'm going to get my Big Shot up now. For the top one, I'm going to be using my stitched shapes framelits, and for the other two, I'm going to be using the layering ovals. Okay, so these are my layering ovals. Taking that one and that one, which are sizes numbers 4 and 5. Again, I'll put all the information in the box below the video. And for the sentiment, I'm using number 2. If you're new to my videos, I always start counting my dies Smaller the number, the smaller the die. In fact, the other way around, smaller the die, smaller the number. So the smallest die on this set is number 1. If that's number 2, it's the second size up. It's a shame that it wasn't started off like that, so that everybody sings from the same song sheet, but never mind. There we go. The sizes that I've given you, as you can see, are tight, but it does mean that you're not going to get very much wastage. The other thing I meant to mention, I know a lot of people do take die cuts from their glimmer paper where they're putting it a full sheet. For example, where I've got a full sheet underneath here, the glimmer, some people will actually take die cuts out of that to be economical, and same with that one under there, but it isn't something that I do. Right, so that's the layer, the bottom layer. That's the next layer. That one goes there. That one can go down there. And there we go, it's our sentiment. So we put those on there. And this can go back. Oops, that's fine. Right, now let me get my card back. So first things first, I'm going to, was that the, no, this is a piece, I've got a spare bit over there, I'm thinking that was it. So first of all, I'm going to adhere that onto here, and I'm going to use as a guide my largest piece out of these 3 with the image on it. Okay, the largest one there, and the largest one out of my ovals. And the reason I'm using these is because I'm only going to glue the bit underneath where these are going to be. It doesn't need to be glued all the way around because this is a really nice solid piece of acetate. It's not the flimsy stuff. So if you just got it anchored there and there, that's going to stay in place anyway all the way around. And if you have a design, just check which way up you want that to go, which you think that's all that's going to be showing if I have the design up there. Now if I turned it around, if I put it up like that, I'm going to have a much nicer pattern up there. So I'm going to put mine that way around. So what we need to do is to put some glue underneath the acetate exactly where this is going to be covering it up. That way you're not going to have anything on view and it's not going to spoil your card. You can use, for this one here, I actually use the fine tip glue pen. You can use that, and you can, or you could use, in fact you could use anything, think about it. I don't use fast fuse, but I'm sure fast fuse would be okay as well. So I don't want to go above or below that, and I know that I've got about, well, say ½ an inch either side. So as long as my glue doesn't go over that, I'm good. Okay, so I'm not going up too high, not going too far out. Bearing in mind that when you put your acetate down, it will squidge out a bit. And likewise with the oval. So I'm just memorising where it is, and I'm just doing a little bit there. So then if I pop, Yes, that's the right way round. I'm just going to pop that on there. Make sure it all lines up corner to corner all the way round, and then I'm just giving that little press down. I imagine you can see that, can't you? Yes. Can't see the... oh yeah, I can. Yeah. Okay, so you can see all that. That's how that's going to stay in place. Right, put that to one side, and we need to put these together now. On this one, I do use glue dots to put that onto the silver, and I'm quite happy putting that on glue dots as well, because they're relatively small in comparison to the actual card. So for this one, I would probably do about 4 glue dots, and the easiest way is just to put your cardstock onto the glue dots and turn it around. And then once you've done it, what you think is the 4, check underneath to see if it's okay. Mine wasn't, I needed a 5th one. So then just pop that on top. There we go. Now let's do this one. A bit more of a challenge because obviously it's bigger. Not quite sure how many I did on these. I have got one other card to show you. And the card that I have to show you is using this same patterned acetate, but in the gold design. So not only am I showing you the gold and the silver, but I'm also showing you one card, the same card made with each. So you'll obviously get a good chance to decide which one you like. There we go, that's that. So now I'm going to glue these onto my cardstock. Again, fast fuse would work well with this. You may want to actually put these up on dimensionals. I am putting the whole thing on dimensionals, but you may decide that you'd like this one as well. Just make sure there's not a right and wrong side to that. There shouldn't be because I cut it on a guillotine. I think that looks right. Okay. Yep, that's good to go. Right, let's put some dimensionals on here. I'm using the large ones. Right, now be careful with the glue dots, the dimensionals, because if you let them touch the acetate, it really is quite difficult to pull them off again. Right, let's see. Well, I'm going to hold this up because I really can't afford not to. Now what I'm doing is I'm assuming that my design has been cut straight, which I think it has. Then I can just line up my top layer along there. So now I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to hold that one straight and hold that one up as well. There we go. So that's the card. Oh, all I need to do really is at the bow, isn't it? So I just do a little bunny ears bow. So put those two together. Do the same over here. Leave yourself a gap. Cross them over. And then tuck one of them, or the one that's crossed over at the top rather, tuck that one through the hole. And then you need to let that one twist itself round. And that's it. One beautiful bow. And then just keep pulling them down to get it to be the size you want. Okay. Only want a small one. I fluff up the wings a bit. I'll use my snips, my ribbon scissors snips to cut that off. Pop that on, and then I'll cut it down to the size once it's actually on. Now you could use a glue dot to adhere this on, but as you know, I do like Tombow. That's not looking all that brilliant, is it? I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it will be fine. Right, while I'm holding that down, let me bring over the gold one that I did earlier. Oh, I didn't trim this either. That needs to be a bit shorter. Okay, so that's what the two designs look like. One gold, one silver. Let's put that up. That's better. Let's put the gold one here as well. Right, I can sort that out later. Let's tidy that one up as well. Right, there we go. That's today's project. I hope you like it and I hope you give it a try. I'll bring back the original one. Okay, not quite sure the best way to view that for you. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you decide to give this a try because it is a quick and easy card to make, but it really does pack that well. I will leave all the products and the measurements in the box below the video. If you would like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, you'll find a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is on Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you feel like giving me a thumbs up, that's always very much appreciated. Many thanks for joining me today. Oh, by the way, if you've got any comments or questions, that was the other thing, please leave those in the box below. I'm always happy to answer your questions or give you any help that you need. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.